Khan, all praises to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We got the brothers from Lee County, the Light of Zion. They will introduce themselves. Hallelujah.
Shalom, 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 family. Yahaba Shem Yahshua Barakatham. This is Captain Kadash from the Light of Zion. Hallelujah.
Khan, Shalom. This is Captain Zamaria Bashim Yasha Barakatah, LOZ Lee County. Shalom.
Khan, all praise to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is Captain Kai Rum from the Light of Zion. All praise to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom.
God, this is Officer Nathaniel from the Light of Zion. Hallelujah.
Shalom, shalom. All praise to Yahweh Shem, our Shah. It's your officer Obadiah from Lee County. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praise to the Most High. This is Officer Asher here, coming from the Light of Zion. Khan.
All praise to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right. All praise to the Most High. We got to just give the Most High a hand. All praise to the Most High. This truth is going out. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. The real Jews is back in business.
Hallelujah.
Man. Right. The real Jews is back in business. Right. We gonna bring that at 2nd Ezra 6:9. That's a powerful prophecy, right? But all praise to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You got the brothers Kyrie and Kanye, or Ye and Kyrie, really going out these spiritual, these wicked spiritual leaders that control this world, right? What they call the new world, the leaders of the new world order, right? The Most High is putting the spirit on these brothers to expose the wicked darkness of this world, man. All praise to the power of Isaac and Jacob that we could wake up to who we are, that our people are waking up, that our work is not in vain, right? To the brothers and sisters that's laboring in this truth, our work is not in vain. The Most High sees our work and he is giving the increase, right? The seeds that we plant, that word of the Most High is giving the increase. All praise to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? The revolution shall be televised, right? This gospel shall be preached unto the end of the earth, right? All praise to the Most High. So before we jump in the video, we're going to open up with the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. Baba Kushah, Officer Obadiah, can you read that for me, Baba Kushah?
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Shema Mashak Yahushai, giving Salaki. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashak Yahushai, giving thanks to the power and the Father by him.
Khan, all praises to the Most High, to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We see that the Most High is really making his visitation upon the earth, waking up the children of Israel. It's high time for the children of Israel to wake up, God's chosen people, right? So all praise to the Most High. I want to bring out another precept. Could somebody give me the book of Sirach, chapter 43, verse 29, Baba Kushah. The book of Sirach, chapter 43, verse 29.
Khan. The book of Sirach, chapter 43, and verse 9.
So 43, verse 29, Baba Kushah.
Khan. The book of Sirach, chapter 43, and verse 29. The Lord, the Most High, is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power.
Right? The Most High is terrible and very great. Having this word being pushed across the four corners of the earth, we have to praise the Most High because he is very great and he's marvelous in his power. To see our brothers and sisters wake up at this grand scale, we have to honor and we have to recognize the power and the marvelous power of the Most High Yahweh, that he's allowing his word to go forth to wake up the children of Israel. This is the power of the Most High, right? So we're going to jump into this video. I kind of watched pretty much the beginning part of the video. The brother is very cryptic in the things that he says. He's like he says, he's politically trained, right? Meaning that the things that he says, it's not too detailed, right? To be as explicit, to be as he's not as detailed as he needs to be, but he says it in a way where you can understand what he's saying, and you're going to understand what I mean by that while we watch the video. But the brother is very intelligent, how he pretty much brings out this word, right? So we're gonna start the video, and obviously, if brothers got precepts, just bring it out. All right, Khan. Fair use in the chat. Fair use in the chat. Khan. All right.
Social, you know what I'm saying? Like all everybody just runs back. Nothing gets done. Nothing gets changed. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be the only one that's changing this thing, but damn, like millennials, we got to be better. We got to be better. Millennials, our generation, this is for us. And y'all know who I'm talking to. Our generation, 1981 to 1996. That generation and our older generation, I don't want to say older, like age, stuff like that. I'm just saying our more wise generation, our elders ahead of us, they got it. They got us. They're going to protect us. They're going to protect us. But first, we have to reclaim a few things. We have to eat well. That doesn't mean just going vegan. We have to eat well.
Now this is a pretty much a double, like the scriptures talk about in Job 11:6, where it talks about things are double. That he said he has to eat well, and he talks about how it's not just being a vegan and things like that. That's talking about a spiritual diet as well, right? What we feed our spirit, right? There's a lot of information, there's a lot of knowledge in this world, right? But what you feed your spirit is very important, right? Khan, I'm gonna keep going on that.
You have to eat well. You have to treat your body right. You have to treat your mind right. You have to know what you're putting in here.
You see what I'm saying?
You have to let go of things. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. I had to let go of seeing my ancestors buried in places that have been covered up by lakes. I had to go see museums with nooses around my ancestors' necks. I had to go see.
Hold on, right? He said he had to go see his ancestors with nooses around his neck, around their necks, right? Let me get that, right? Let me get that Deuteronomy 28 and 48, right? He's going into the history. He's saying these are the atrocities that happened to the children of Israel. These are the things that happened to my people. These are the things that's on display of our history, right? That goes into the destruction, right? And the genocide that was done to the children of Israel. He's saying, this is what I have to see. This is what I have to internalize. This is what I have to suppress, right? Because if I say something about it, they're going to consider it hate speech, right? But let me get that book of Deuteronomy 28 and 48, Baba Gashah. Friend, somebody can bring that out.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48.
Right.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in
Right.
thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Right, that yoke of iron, that noose, right, that rope that was around our ancestors' neck, right? This is the thing. These are the things that this brother is talking about. The atrocities that was happening to the children of Israel by the hand of the Idumeans, by the hand of the Edomites, right?
I want to bring a precept out too. This is the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8. It says, "For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself the search of their fathers." So, a lot of this, what Ye and Kyrie Irving is getting into, a lot of reasons they're getting into this trouble is because they've prepared themselves to search for their ancestors. And when you search for your ancestors and see what the generations before you actually went through, this is how you know who we are according to the Bible, right? When you ask and you pray, you prepare yourself to the search, right? That search is going to lead you down this road that Kyrie Irving is on right now. He searched for his forefathers and he's seen what our forefathers went through, that they're buried at the bottom of lakes, that they had yokes of iron upon thy neck, that we have been an oppressed people, that we have been led into slavery, that we kill each other, right? And it's really a domino effect, right? So I just wanted to bring that out. Khan, go ahead, Alex.
Khan.
Lawmakers that are still living today that put a lot of my family members in bondage or in prison or oppress them in some type of way. I had to go see that, and I had to let go of that energy.
Hold on, that's very powerful. I'm gonna just run that back, right?
Museums with nooses around my ancestors' necks. I had to go see lawmakers that are still living today.
Look what he says. There's lawmakers that are still living today, right?
Put a lot of my family members in bondage or in prison.
Right. So you see what he's saying, right? Right. The people that are living today, that are in authority, that are in power, these are the same people that put our people in chains, that hanged our people. These are the same people that's running the media, that's running the government, that's running this world show. He's saying these are the people that's still in power today that put my people in chains. He recognizes who the enemy is.
Prison or oppress them in some type of way. I had to go see that, and I had to let go of that energy, that hateful energy that I had in order to move on in this world, to talk openly. Because if I didn't let it go, I would have been walking around as what? The angry black man.
See what he's saying? Now, if he starts talking about the oppression that happened to our people by the hand of these other nations, right? They're gonna look at him as the angry black man. But we didn't saying that scripture, right? The scripture says oppression maketh a wise man mad. He understands who his enemy is. He understands who's the people that's oppressing his people. But if he starts to speak on it, oh, he's just an angry black man, right? Just an angry black activist, right? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Right? He sees the atrocities, he sees the people that's putting his people into these prison houses, in these graveyards, right? In all these situations, these things make a wise man mad. But if he speaks on these things, it's considered hate speech, right? If he starts to talk about these things, now he's the targeted one. You can't speak about the atrocities that happen to the black folk. You're just an angry black man, and they just dismiss you as just an angry black man. But we understand why we're furious about this thing, right? Because there's a perpetual hatred that comes from the enemy, that comes from these other nations, specifically the Edomites, that did this to our people, right? Salaki, let me get the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 28. If somebody can read that book, read that for me. The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 28, Baba Bashar. Because this is what
I
we
got
asked
it.
for. This is what we asked for, right? To see the destruction of our enemies and salvation for the children of Israel. That's the gospel. That's what we asked for, right? Let me read. Baba Bashar, you can read that. 2 Maccabees 1 and 28.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 28.
Right?
Punish them that oppress us.
Do what?
Punish them that oppress us.
Let these curses that's written in Deuteronomy 30 be put upon our enemy. Punish them that oppress us. Let the righteous rule in authority. Right? Keep going.
And with pride do us wrong.
And they do this thing with pride. They punish us with pride. They put a knee on our neck with pride. They drag us out our cars with pride. Right? This is the spirit of the enemy. And we ask for retribution from the Most High. We ask for vengeance, right, and recompense from the Most High to these other nations, right? And we have to hold our peace and let the Most High speak, right? Con, if brothers got anything y'all can bring out, I'm gonna continue on the video.
The angry black man. I had to. That's always the MO. If you're the angry black man, you can't get anything done. So I had to change up my approach and my perspective. Doesn't mean that I'm not ready for war out here, but it just means that I know who my enemy is and why they're doing what they're doing. And the reason why I express these things to you is because the millennials, we have the answers.
You see what he said? Because he knows who his enemy is, right? He knows who his enemy is. Let me
That's
read that
powerful.
Con.
That's powerful because even when you look at the animal kingdom, right?
Right.
Like they have to know who the enemy is, or they'll get they'll get caught.
Right.
But we walk around like we don't function by the same rules.
Con.
Scriptures tell us look at the beast of the earth. It tells us look at the animals of the earth. Right? There's things that we can learn from these things. Right? It's built the same way. So the fact that he's saying that he knows who his enemy is now he could channel that energy towards something. Right? And he's not just lost. Like it's a lot of people out here just lost, not knowing that there's an enemy. They don't know that there's crafty counsels set up.
That's right.
Right? Why all these brothers getting killed in Chicago? Why gang members doing what they doing? Why drugs in the neighborhood? Why we getting sentenced to 40 and 50? We getting sentenced to football numbers.
Right. Double life, triple life.
Right. Triple life. But meanwhile, you got cops or other individuals killing us, right? And they don't get to see a day in jail. Right? I bring it out all the time. Michael Vick was killing dogs and he had to sit down for that. Right?
Con.
But when you look at people that killed like Trayvon Martin, right? Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, right? Ayanna Jones. Nobody paid for these crimes. Right? And this is part of the reason Kyrie is speaking out, man. But the truth is gonna set us free. The truth shall be revealed. Right? Let me get a
That's right.
scripture real quick. Let me get
Con.
Luke. I believe it's Luke chapter 12 and 2.
Con. Luke 12 and 2.
Con.
I
Con.
got it. Oh,
I think that's what I
con.
want.
Luke 12 and
Yeah.
2.
Con.
No,
Is that it?
yeah, it said, so like the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2.
Con.
For there is nothing covered
Uh-huh.
that shall not be revealed.
There's nothing covered on this earth that shall not be revealed. Colossians 1, I believe it's 1 and 23 or 1 and 26. It says that the truth shall be revealed to the saints. The mystery shall be revealed to the saints. Right? And that's what's happening right now. The truth is being revealed all over the earth. People are waking up at alarming rates. And it's a beautiful thing.
Con. And I want to touch on the fact that I just want to play this part back because and this is beautiful, right?
I had to let go of that energy, that hateful energy that I had in order to move on in this world, to talk openly.
Now, this is very powerful because it's like when you first come into the truth, right? You want to take off the heads of every Edomite, every other nation that you see. Like these people put our people through destruction,
Con.
right? But he's saying, yo, I got to channel my energy a little bit differently, right? Because at the end of the day, we still in this captivity. I still got to work with these people. I still got to see these people on a daily basis, right? Coming with that energy is not necessarily going to allow the kingdom to come faster, right? So he's having that mindset like, yes, I'm going to be at peace with all men, but just know your judgment coming. Just know I know you my enemy. Even if you think that I don't know that you're my enemy, just know that I know you my enemy. Right?
Con, I had a precept as well. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Most High of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
Con.
Right? So we know that the Most High is really lifting up the skirt of America to show them all the dirty deeds they've done to us over the past 500 years. And all the other nations are, I bet they all watching. They like, dang, what they gonna do with God's chosen people over there? Everybody finding out now. So,
And here's the thing. I commend these brothers for coming out, right? And the type of environment or, the type of status they have in this life. I commend what these brothers are doing. But I would say this, I would add to it. They need to get down to the root problem and then the solution. The root of this is that we broke the commandments of God
That's
and
right.
we have been a disobedient people. The solution is to keep the commandments. It's very simple, right? So I hear the brother saying, like, just like Captain Kyron was bringing out, he's speaking in terms where it's not plain, right? Which I understand. He has to speak in code a little bit, but something needs to be said about the solution. Keep the commandments. That's what we got to do at the end of the day.
Con, and I really haven't seen that yet, like from Kyrie or Kanye, like they saying we got to keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the I feel like that's once you find out everything is like the next step is that, so Most High willing everybody sees that once they try to go deeper than what Kyrie and Kanye are saying.
Con. It's very simple. They just got to connect the dots for the people. We've been disobedient. Keep the commandments of God. Very simple.
Let me I want to play that part back about how we got no who his enemy is. That's a powerful point.
Because if I didn't let it go, I would have been walking around as what? The angry black man. The angry black man. I had to that's always the MO. If you're the angry black man, you can't get anything done. So I had to change up my approach and my perspective. Doesn't mean that I'm not ready for war out here, but it just means that I know who my
You see, they say it's because I'm not approaching right eating with this energy every day doesn't mean we ain't ready for war, right? Doesn't mean we not military minded. Doesn't mean we not always ready. That we not ready spiritually and physically, right? But we gotta approach it a different way because we understand first of all the vengeances of the Most High, but we understand at any given time these prophecies can be fulfilled, right?
my enemy is and why they're doing what they're doing. And the reason why I express these things to you is because the millennials, we have the answers. We have the answers. It starts with our diet. It starts with our spiritual systems. It starts with breaking free out of this matrix, out of this system where you're not controlled by it. You're not run by it. And everybody calls the matrix the system, whatever you want to describe it as, right? But we wake up every single day and you're not in control, are you? All right, then. So let me round in everything I said. I was gonna do a post. I was gonna do, something the norm, like I was gonna do something like that. But if we don't wake up millennial generation, and if we don't partner with our elders, and if we don't teach our kids the right ways of living, meaning that when they're 4 5 and 6 and 7 years old, and then when they turn 8 and they go to school, and all of a sudden racism becomes a thing, and all of a sudden like capitalism becomes a thing based on comparison, like who has the most money in the household, all that good stuff that we like to argue about. But I'm saying millennials, if we don't partner with the elders and if we don't take care of Gen Z and the generation that come after, we're doomed, bro.
And that's deep
We
what he
have the power.
that's deep what he just said, because this is not just about us, right? Even when we talk about us going in the street, this is not about us. This is these what the things that we're doing right now, us doing this class, is to really prepare the next generation after us until Christ come back, right? It's really to prepare the next generation after us for them to do better than we have done, right? Somebody has to break these things. I want to go into something what he said earlier about, you know, not following the things, that they just teach you, going along with it, right? That kind of goes with Romans 12 and 2. It says, and be not conformed to this world, right? The word conform means the same patterns, all right? And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's what Kyrie Irving is doing right now. He's renewing his mind. When you renew your mind, you start doing things that are godly. You start paying attention to the things that you're eating spiritually, physically. You start paying attention to how you treat people around you, right? That you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. And we know that the will of God is to keep the commandments. Study these precepts and keep the commandments. But Khan, I yield with that.
We are the majority. Y'all keep forgetting that. Y'all thought it was hard for me to stand on what I believe in, but it's not. It just means that you have to be ready to deal with the consequences, whatever comes that way. And again, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to repeat this. I don't know all the answers. I don't have all of them. I won't pretend like I do, because there's so much information out there, but I will share this with you. When it's on my spirit and on my heart, and I've meditated on it, I prayed on it, I'm going to share it in a way that is positively reinforced. I have no hatred for people in my heart. I am a soul bound by this universe to do amazing things, even if it's small in someone else's perception, it's big in mine. It's my life, it's my journey, right? I never was born to see color, culture, class, all these things, right? I grew up in it. But now that I identify with my family lineage and I know where I come from, there's not anything that could really make me go into hiding anymore, because I've seen it all. There's new things happening under the sun all the time, but they've convinced you that there's nothing new happening. You feel me? We're stronger together. We are way stronger together. Way stronger.
Colin, that actually brings me to a point. I remember, I think it's the brother Malcolm X. I remember he said that these other nations, they don't outnumber us. They out organize us, right? because we have the numbers, we have the intelligent brothers, right? We can make it happen, but we just can't come together as a people. But once we do that, we gonna be like that sleeping giant that woke up, right? It takes that unity of the brotherhood and sisterhood, waking up our people back, coming back together as a congregation of the Israelites, right? They can't stop that, man.
Stronger together. And the first thing that I want to see out here is all of us being able to have a conversation, right? And I don't say all of us, like it can't happen all at once, but all of us that have a conversation within our households where we address a lot of the stuff that happened in the past without getting too angry about it and leaving the table unheard and hurt. Because I'll tell you this, and again, I keep saying this is my last thing, but look, my ancestors' pain and pain and anxiety and fear is still in my DNA. It's still in the DNA. All the things that my family went through in the past and that I've seen, it went away. And the reason why I shouted out the millennial generation, because y'all feel this. Y'all feel this and y'all know. My generation knows. We grew up a certain type of way and we're trying to change things, but every time we get back pushback, sometimes we give up. It's like, nah, F that. F that. F that, y'all. Nah, it's find your tribe season. Find your tribe. And not everybody is going to get along. I don't expect that. But what I am expecting is that the millennial generation, when we connect with our elders, show some respect for the wisdom that they have, but do not judge their ignorance. Do not judge them. Do not criticize what they do not know. Share the information. Give them the right portals.
Now that's also very powerful because when you talk about talking to our our brothers and sisters that grew up in the church for the last 15, 20 years, right? They never heard about the Israelites or the real Jews or keeping the commandments and things like that. We have to be patient with our brothers and sisters,
Con,
our elders, right?
con,
Because they don't know. They've been learning Christianity for the last 20 years. They don't know the real Bible. They don't know anything past the New Testament or before the New Testament, right? So we have to be patient with our elders because they're the ones that we try to reach, but they're also the hardest to reach. Like I always say, man, Christianity is probably the easiest thing to teach, right? It's easy to teach Christianity, but it's hard to teach the Bible. It's hard to understand and break down the scriptures, right? Anybody can teach Christianity. That's why it has so much influence. That's why so many people have been diagnosed with Christianity, right? Under the influence of Christianity because it's rampant among our neighborhoods, among our people. So we have to be patient when we teach our elders about this truth, right? Because they're the ones that really that's where those generational curses really started, because they're learning things that the pastor was teaching that was not in the Bible, and we have to break those strongholds because those things that they were being taught is something that their parents were being taught. So it's powerful that the brother recognizes that not only do we have to honor our elders, right, which is also scriptural, not only do we have to honor our elders, but we have to be patient with our elders when we're teaching them as well. Right. So the brothers, he's scripturally sound, right? The brothers, he's in that spirit of the scripture. So, he's given that wisdom, right?
I want to land me back on that too,
Uh,
because one of the things I've learned in this truth is that when, like for example, when we in the highways and byways and we're kind of going back and forth with these people, you got to think these people have grown up in the church for 30 years.
right.
That word that they've heard, the doctrine that they've heard in church has been sown in their spirit. And then we get frustrated because we're trying to sow something, we're trying to unsow 30 years in 10 minutes,
Right.
and it's a challenge, right? So, but it really goes into us just being diligent in this truth and continue to teach. I've seen people in this truth that the first 2, 3 years they were just rebelling, and then all of a sudden the Lord just opened their eyes. All right. So just like the brother saying, we can't judge their ignorance. We got to give them a chance, just like the Most High gave us a chance. Come
Khan, that's a powerful point. I wanted to actually bring that. This is Matthew 9 and 17. It says, I'll start at verse 16. No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. Right. So we see our brothers and sisters, they're in that old wine mentality, that those old bottles. Right. When you try to teach them the truth and try to mix it with Christianity, it's not going to work. That bottle's going to burst. Right. So we need to be able to pour out that old wine to fill them with that new wine, the actual understanding of the scriptures. Right. These are the things that preserve. It says, put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. Right. So when you actually receive that understanding, that's where you're preserved. That's when you can have that solid foundation in the Torah and the understanding of the Tanakh and the prophets and the law and the testimony. Right. So that's a beautiful thing the brother recognizes as well. Right. Because once we reach the elders, right, the elders can reach our people, right, and we can reach the youngins. Right. Most are willing.
And to my younger generation that's watching this, Instagram comments, TikTok comments, living your life on social media and technology is not the end all be all, and that's not real life. It's a part of life, but it's not real life. So as we're fighting this fight, and I say we're, meaning there are races of people, specifically African people, native people around the world that are fighting for their lives based on skin color. And because of that, there is always this veil that's over top of people's consciousness, because they would like to keep you, meaning the system would like to keep you distracted physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So all of that being said, my millennial generation, be better. Including holding me accountable, be better. We're not letting this world get away from teaching our kids something that don't belong in them. No, we're not. No. We're not letting this system teach our kids what they tried to teach us and tell us that this is the way that the world goes. No, it does not. No, it does not. That's not the way we want it to go. So from 1981 to 1996, my generation, I am one of the responsible individuals that's calling on us to be better. We're having kids, bro. Come on. We're having kids out here. And they want me to be on here talking about the same things that I do all the time. But look, I'm too politically seasoned. You know what I mean? I'm too politically seasoned out here because that's the way I grew up. I grew up in this political system, understanding that power plays all the time. But the real power is when you follow the green. And the green is something that gets defined by all these people that are playing out there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The green, the money. But while we're building our own, we have to just be aware that this is part of our conditioning and brainwashing that happened to us. So until we break free out of that, we're still going to see this world as what it's designed to be. But in order to design something better and new in you, got to start with diet, got to start with education. We have to start with ourselves, our spiritual systems. We have to let go of the old mold of being human in this world. Yo, look at the 1600s, the 1700s, the 1800s, 1900s, the 2000s, and they're over here telling us that, oh no, like it's getting better. No, it's not. No, it's not. Y'all saying it's getting better. No, it's not. We have kids picking up weapons and performing acts of violence. We have kids that are angry and depressed and don't know how to let their feelings be known. We have kids that are dealing with real, true, raw emotions, and they're running to social media to vent. The kids are running to social platforms to vent. If we don't teach them about the mind, body, and spirit in these spiritual systems, how do you expect them to learn it? How do you expect them to question authority when they know that the authority is not giving them what's best for them? That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna get too, preachy with y'all on this, because y'all probably hear this, from different spots, different places, different people. But in my generation, specifically the millennials, diet, health, well-being, forming our own spiritual system, we have the energy to shift this whole entire thing. So until we do that, we're just gonna keep fighting. But I love y'all. I love each one of y'all, and I pray for you guys as my relatives all the time. I pray to Creator and our ancestors all the time. Whether they call me crazy out here in this society, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That like being called crazy in America is like it could make you billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like being called crazy in this insane society at times, like it doesn't really phase anybody anymore. You know what I mean? Because now at this point, it's either we're doing something to further along our causes and make this revolution work, or we're not. And it doesn't look the same for everybody. Everybody has their own individual journey in this collective consciousness that we have out here. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody. So no, I don't identify as just one thing. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I identify as the truth of Creator because I'm breathing and I'm able to do the things that I do every day, knowing that I don't have control of it all the time. So let's teach our kids about what we learned and how we grew up. Millennial generation. Come on. That's all I'm saying. Sound mind, sound spirit, sound body. So all my youngins out there, please, 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 please pay attention to what some of your older family members or relatives are saying. Your older brothers and sisters, please pay attention to them. Like, that's all. That's all, y'all.
Colin, our praise to the Most High. So you see the brothers, in good spirits. The brothers still on fire for the word, on fire for the Most High. We got to be patient though, right? We got to make sure that we're not rushing the brother, right? We got to understand the Most High gives the increase, right? According to the Spirit, the brother, let the Most High let the Most High give the increase with the brother, right? Eventually the brothers, he already got his beard, right? Eventually, I seen the brother, kept Ramadan, right? But we understand, we keep Day of Atonement, but we see the brother, he did consider himself an omnist, right? Now, if anybody doesn't know what an omnist is, I'll just bring it up here. 1 second, just pull this up right quick. Right, so an omnis is defines a person who believes in all faiths or creeds, a person who believes in a single transcendent purpose or cause, uniting all things or people or the members of a particular group of people. So pretty much a person who does not claim any religion, practice, or belief, but finds the truth in them all. Right, so you see if you go on his Instagram or his Twitter, he has a lot of this logos on his Twitter. Right, just recently he put up a picture of King David as his profile picture. Right, so the brother knows exactly what he's talking about, right? But we see that he considers himself an omnist, right? Now we don't subscribe to this, right? But we see the sentiment of what he's trying to bring out, right? Having that sentiment of trying to be at peace with all men, according to Romans 12, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, so we see the brother, he's on the right path. We have to continue to pray for the brother, right? He's suffering persecution the same way we're suffering persecution. He's going through tribulation the same way we're going through tribulation for this. The things that we say on a daily basis, he's getting in trouble for, right? So we gotta just pray for the brother, right? Make sure the brother stays in the spirit, that he stays on fire for the word. He doesn't quench the spirit. So, I'll praise to the Most High for the brother, right? So, shout out to Divine Prospect for the footage as well. All praise to the Most High. So, we're gonna jump into the next topic. This actually just dropped. Kanye, Kanye has been silent for a couple days now, right? Kanye's been silent, but he's still been outside, right? He's been silent, but he's still been outside. So we're gonna play this clip, right? We'll pull this up right here. Play this clip.
They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley.
Talk to him.
They can control LeBron James.
Talk to him.
They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Talk to him.
Not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Right.
See, it ain't no.
Right. You see what type of time Kanye on, man. You see what type of time he on, right? He's not controlled by nobody, right? And this is why it's so powerful. Even when he talk about, this is why he was saying he talk about the power and financial freedom, because you don't got nobody above you telling you what you need to do, right? You don't have nobody being the what's the word? You don't have somebody as your ventriloquist, right? You have somebody, telling you what to say, uh, telling you where to go and things like that, right? The brother said, "I'm not a puppet no more, man. Right? I'm not bound to the change in the systems of this beast." And the brother exposing it. He said, "I'm not like Charles Barkley. We were Charles Barkley, right? Charles all bark no bite, right? Charles Barkley. You got Shaq. You see them brothers wearing dresses. You talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce. We know these are one of the most supreme Satanists in the game. When you talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce, right? Blood rituals, sacrifices, and things like that, right? We understand these people. We know who their God is. Right? These are people that's top dog in that Illuminati scheme, right? That in Illuminati community. Jay-Z, Beyonce, right? Freemasonry from Shaq, right? These are the people that's being controlled by the elites. And he's saying, I'm not being controlled like y'all, right? Right.
No name I won't name. It's up.
Right. He says it's up. It's
It's
up.
up.
It's whatever.
Hey, listen,
Right.
this thing.
You cutting out, King. Oh, you cutting out, King. Con. Right. Oh, let me play that back. You drop it. He just dropping
It's
names.
scary. They can't control you. They can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James.
Of course they gonna control LeBron James. LeBron James been in the system since he was in high school, probably even younger than that, right? When we see LeBron James always setting up the triple six, the three over the eye, the triangle. We know who they affiliated with, right? Let me pull it up right quick. Slovakia. God, I'm gonna pull the video up. But we see they're well known Satanists, man.
They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce,
But not you, man.
but they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone. Let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill
Mm.
Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
Talk about it.
He going in some
Right,
deep stuff right now.
right,
This is
right,
deep.
right,
Got to be careful. This
right.
is why they need the brothers, man. Like they got to
Uh,
connect. That's the
that's that name whom 3 and 5 for real right here.
Right.
time.
Uncovering the wickedness of the nations, man. Right? Uncovering their nakedness. The Most High really is exposing these people, man. And you talk about the sacrifice. This sacrifices things is real, man. You talk about sacrifices, blood rituals, humiliation rituals, all these things like that, right? You talk about American Idol. Even that name of that show sounds crazy. American Idol, right? Talk about Fantasia. She was sacrificing people. Bruno Mars was sacrificing people. Jennifer Hudson was sacrificing people. They was even saying, Salakia, brother, help me out. The brother from Fast and Furious. What was that Edomite name, man? The Edomite that got crashed in the car, but he's a professional driver, and they said he was
I
a
know you're talking
sacrifice.
about
Paul
the
Walker,
blonde with the blonde hair.
Paul Walker. They said he was a sacrifice, right? They said that's why Tyrese went over there and was at his at the accident site, right? Not trying to go too deep into conspiracy theories, right? But we got to, right? That's why he was there crying, because they was lovers, right? You talk about the things, the wickedness that happen behind the scenes. There's a lot of sodomy in Hollywood, right? There's a lot of wickedness and pedophilia in Hollywood, right? If he really got here and really wanted to expose all that, I don't think this video would have dropped. I don't think this video would have dropped if he really wanted to go as deep as he needed to go. Right? They call it Holly weird, right? If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's just I got to double check it, but they said Hollywood is actually the wood that was used for a witch's stick. I don't know how true that is, right? We can look into it. Right, brothers could do the research, right? But we see Hollywood, their origins is built off of blood sacrifice and rituals, sodomy, humiliation, right? The sacrifices in the music industry is real, man. The sacrifices in the music industry is real.
Can
We
somebody
see
get Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12 real quick?
Con.
I got it.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
These are the things we really wrestle with, right? The powers in dark places, high places, right? Read that one more time, Salah.
Con. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but
This is
against principalities.
not about a people thing. This is not just a flesh and blood thing. You're talking about spiritual things, right? Read on.
But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of
The
this
rulers
world.
of the darkness of this world, the rulers of wickedness, the rulers of unrighteousness, sin, right? These are the things that Kanye is fighting right now. Kyrie Irving is fighting right now. We, as the children of God, are fighting right now, right? We are wrestling against principalities. Principles that this world stands on are not right. The principles that this world pushes, the ideologies that this world pushes, is incorrect according to the Most High. And the Most High is going to blow this place to smithereens because
That's
of it,
right.
right? So we gotta protect these brothers, man. Kyrie Irving, we gotta protect these brothers as much as we can. I know they're from a distance. I pray these brothers reach out to some camps sooner or later so they could have, the power behind them, because it's only so much that one person can do. If nobody got your back, man, it's a cold world out here. You gotta have your brothers, man. Right? I
Con.
wanted to bring that out.
Con. This is the book is so can somebody give me the book of Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4, Baba Kushah? The book of Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. The brother is really exposing the rulers in the darkness of this world, man. Right? You talk about the Bohemian Grove, right? You talk about these different things that these different committees and unions that the upper class elite have. The brothers is exposing these people. He's bringing confirmation to the quote unquote theories that brothers have been pushing for the last couple of decades, man. Right? Talk about stranger than fiction, right? These brothers was bringing out this truth for the longest time, right? Slucky, read that for me, Baba Kushah, 2 Corinthians 4 and 4.
Con, this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 4.
Right?
And whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds.
Slucky, in whom the God of this world. That's who he's exposing. The God of this world, man. Right? He's exposing the God of this world. Keep going.
In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not.
And a lot of people, their minds, they're blinded, right? They're blinded. They can't believe. They don't have ears to hear, they don't have the eyes to see, they don't understand what's going on. The God of this world seared their conscience and their mind. Keep going.
Lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahushai, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine onto them.
Right. They had the God of this world had to blind a lot of our people. Because if the light of the Mashiach Yahushua was to shine upon them, if they were supposed to awake, if they were to awake to their righteousness, then we will start to see 2 Ezra 6 and 9, right? We'll start to see Jacob arising, right? The end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob. And the brothers is exposing the God of this world. He's exposing the principalities of this world, man. We see the humiliation rituals. We brought it out last week. They got brothers wearing dresses. Shaq wearing a dress. Charles Barkley wearing a dress. Will Smith wearing a dress. Martin wearing a dress. Wayne's brothers wearing a dress, right? Kevin Hart wearing a dress. Jamie Foxx wearing a dress. Right? Who am I missing? Right? This is how Hollywood works. Right? They sodomize the men. They sodomize the men. They sacrifice their family members. There's blood rituals. All this humiliation that's going on, and it happens to our people. And the brothers is exposing it, man. Right? There is nothing here that shall not be revealed.
Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
What do you say? He said you got it. They want to monetize and traumatize. That's a bar. They're gonna take our trauma and monetize it. They're gonna take our trauma and profit off of it. They traumatize and monetize, man. That's if you want to sum it up, that's how you will put it.
And God loved me.
That's
You
right.
understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important than thinking.
See, that's right. You see, the brother understands, man. No matter what happens, you got to understand the Most High put His love upon the children of Israel, man, and the children of Israel only. Right? He put His love upon the children of Israel, man. Right? He put His love upon the children of Israel. Let me get the book of Baruch. Right? Baruch chapter 3, verse 36, Baba Gashar. The book of Baruch chapter 3, verse 36. The Most High loves the children of Israel. Right? So like, can somebody give me that?
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved.
And to Israel his beloved. Right? His beloved is the children of Israel. Right? He set His love upon the children of Israel and the children of Israel only, man. That's who the Most High set His love upon. Right? He loved Jacob. Right? That's who the Most High put His love towards, man. Right? I had another precept. Salaki. Let me get the book of Salak. Let me get the book of let's see here. The book of Hosea, chapter 11, verse 1. The book of Hosea, chapter 11, verse 1, Baba Kashad. Can somebody read that, Baba Kashad? The book of Hosea? Officer.
Yeah, I got it. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 11, verse 1.
Right.
When Israel was a child, then I loved him, and called my son out of Egypt.
Right. When Israel was a child, he loved him. Right. The Most High put His love upon the children of Israel. Right. The Most High put His love upon the children of Israel. All right. Let me get one other scripture. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 10, verse 9. Right. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 10, verse 9, Baba Kushah.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 10, verse 9. Blessed be the Most High thy power, which delighted in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Most High loved Israel forever.
The Most High loved Israel forever, man. He did not set His love upon anybody else but the children of Israel. Keep going.
Therefore made He thee king to do judgment and justice.
Right. So the Most High, He set His love upon the children of Israel forever. That's the confidence that we have to have throughout every tribulation, Throughout every struggle that we may go through, we have to understand that the Most High set His love upon us, and He will not forsake His child, man. He will not forsake His beloved, right?
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is gonna be heard.
That's right.
I can't.
See, that's right. This truth is going to be heard. This truth is being heard across the nations, man. Right? That we're the real chosen people, that we're God's chosen people, the children of Israel. This truth shall be heard. Right? And we got to understand some's going to believe it and some's not. Right? Let me get that in Acts 28. Right? Let me get the book of Acts, chapter 28, verse 24. Papa Gashar. The book of Acts, chapter 28, verse 24. Because this word will go out. Everybody may hear that conversation in the barbershop, on the basketball court, in the Walmarts, and the plumbing stores, right? People are going to hear it, but not everybody's going to be meant to receive it, right? Some people are going to believe it, some people's not, right? Let me get the book of Acts chapter 28, verse 24.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 28, verse 24.
Right?
And some believe the things which were spoken, and some believe not.
And it's simple as that, right? Some are going to believe the things that are spoken, and some are going to believe not. Some are gonna say, I got to start keeping these commandments. I got to start keeping these commandments. I got to start getting back into this word, to my true heritage. Right? That I'm beloved of the Most High, the children of Israel. Right? But not everybody's gonna receive this, man. It's not meant for everybody to receive. So don't get discouraged, Israel. Right? Well, let's preach of Luke 24 and 11. Right? This truth gonna go out, whether they hear or forbear. But the word will not return void, thus saith the Most High by Shema Mashek Yahushai. But we got to understand that. Not everybody's going to get it. The people that's meant to get it will get it. Right? And we got to accept that. That's that bitter roll that we have to accept. Right? Let me get the book of Luke chapter 24, verse 11.
On this book of Luke chapter 24, verse 11.
Right?
And their words seemed to them as idle tales.
Oh, we the children of the book, right? We're the children of Israel. That's idle tales. We know what the Bible talks about slavery on ships. That's idle tales. We descend from King David, Solomon, right? Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, right? Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher. We descend from these people. That's an idle tale, right? Keep going.
And they believe them not.
And some are not going to believe. And some are not going to believe, right? But the Most High is going to wake up his elect, the children of Israel that's supposed to wake up, right? That 1/3 that's going to keep the commandments of the Most High. Not everybody can wake up, because who's going to be left for the 2/3? That's not how it's meant to be, right? So we see the Most High is pushing this truth, man. He's pushing this truth and waking our people up, right? Carl, let me keep going on that. Carl, I have one more scripture in mind, but it escaped me. Carl, I'll keep going.
Ain't send none of y'all meat mills, y'all puppies, y'all little boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want.
And you see, we got to kind of decode that right there, right? I don't know if brothers want to try to break that down, but from my understanding, what he's basically saying is that they don't have any quote unquote dirt. This is just my interpretation, right? They're saying they don't have any quote unquote dirt that they can put on Kanye that can get him behind bars, right? You see what I'm saying? Like there's something like Meek Mills, they could probably build a case against him for whatever he did in the past and get him behind bars. So now they got to control him. He has to watch the things that he says because now he's being watched. But he's not in that position, right, where he has to walk on eggshells because he did something that might come back to him, or he did something that the elites can use against him. That's how I'm interpreting it, right? So he said, if that's the case, if y'all can't threaten me with nothing from my past, if y'all not have nothing to hang over my head, then it's up, like he said, right? He's gonna start exposing this thing, right? Come on, let me see if there's a little bit more. That's by the end of the video,
and not go to jail,
right? So we see the brother is bringing it out, right? The brother was quiet, right? He brought out a couple posts. He was teaching the word, right? He was telling brothers that we are the children of Israel, brothers and sisters, that we're the children of Israel, God's chosen people, right? All praise to the Most High. We see the Most High is waking our people up, right? And it's high time to wake out of sleep, man. Right? Let's get that one last scripture, the book of Romans. If brothers got something to bring up, but Let me get the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. Baba Kasha. The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11.
Khan, this is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
Right? We have to awake out of sleep. Our salvation is nearer than we believed. Right? Seeing the destruction of our enemies. We're gonna start to see these elites and these companies and these huge companies be brought down, thus saith the Most High. Right? We shall see the destruction of our enemies and that salvation for the children of Israel. Salakia, let me get the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7. All right, the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7. Because these are the times that we're in, right? To see the destruction of our enemies and the awakening of the children of Israel. Right? The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7.
Con. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and the destruction of the enemies.
Right? And that's what we hope for. The destruction of the enemies. Right? And the salvation of the righteous, who was the children of Israel. Right? So all praise to the Most High. I pray that everybody was edified, that everybody's tuned in. Everybody was, came from the Shabbat service from yesterday. All praise to the Most High. Continue to stay in the spirit. Continue to, pray for your brothers and sisters that's in the truth, out of the truth. Right? Pray for the brothers, Kanye and Ye, right? Ye and Kyrie, right? That the Most High continue to put the hedge of protection around them, right? And that they continue to wake up and that the Most High continues to give the increase, right? So, continue to like and share and subscribe. We have all our videos right here, all our channels, most of our channels. Continue to subscribe to all our channels here. If you need to contact us, we have an email and a phone number. We do appreciate every single person that continues to donate. Continue to donate. Keep the $7 drive alive. We do appreciate every single donation, every single super chat. Right? We prefer the donations through Cash App because super chat, YouTube, takes a huge portion, right? But continue to donate. We do appreciate it. We're investing to try to build another school so we can have that little sanctuary and that congregation for our people, the children of Israel. All praise to the Most High for everybody that continues to tune in weekly. We pray that the Most High continues to protect you going out and coming in, and that you continue to stay on fire for this word. All right. So, and with that, all praise to the Power of Abraham and Jacob. This is Captain Kai Rumph, the lead out of Zion. And with that, I say Shalom.
Khan, Shalom, family.
Shalom.
Hallelujah.
Shalom.